Hi guys, welcome to this video. As you can see, it's a bit of an impromptu one. I'm just filming this on my travels. But you would have seen, or you may have seen in the news, or you may not have even seen in the news yet, as it was only announced a few hours back, I believe, that William Hill, the bookmaking chain here in the UK, have announced the closure of up to 700 of their shops. And this comes with the potential loss of 4,500 jobs. Now, I'll say initially, first part of the discussion really is my sympathies are with those who are going to potentially lose their jobs. Because ultimately, that's in this economy, employment is sometimes hard to come by. These people who work in these shops, by and large, have done absolutely nothing wrong. I know sometimes we have misgivings about bookmaker staff. How they, how they act, how they treat customers, etc., etc. But by and large, these people haven't done anything wrong, and they may be losing their jobs down to no fault of their own, really. As far as I'm aware, it hasn't been announced yet which shops are to close. The overriding feeling seems to be that it's going to be the ones where the concentration of bookmakers is highest, which obviously, from a business perspective, makes sense, and those which are typically in sort of less economically well-off areas, again, which is typically, and I think we always think ironically, where a significant amount of these bookmakers are, which I think just goes to kind of show the predatory nature of them, really. Now, it comes as no surprise that the reason being cited for these shop closures are the new FOBT regulations, which came in at the beginning of April, which restricted the maximum stake you can place on a bet on a FOBT machine from £100, that's with a sort of membership sign up, and £50 without any kind of sign up, any kind of interaction with the staff in the shop, to £2. Now, the biggest impact of this, of course, would have been on the roulette games. Slots probably would have remained pretty much unchanged, but roulette, which was the biggest money spinner for them, would have been affected quite severely. Now, there have sort of been workarounds from the bookmakers sort of to increase by proxy the maximum stakes on the roulette games, but obviously this hasn't sort of compensated sufficiently for the ultimate loss of revenue. Now, the revenue loss at the moment seems to be quoted as anything up to £100 million a year. Lost purely because of these changes. So that's the thing that I think William Hill gave. And I think it's safe to say, to be fair, that £100 million will have come by and large from problem gamblers. Not all of it. I'm not saying all of it came from problem gamblers, but I would suggest that if simply lowering the stake on roulette has caused a loss of £100 million or up to £100 million a year, I would suggest that the majority of that loss has come directly out of the pockets of problem gamblers. Now, if we spread this across the industry, hopefully this means there is less and less money being spent, less and less money being lost on these machines, which is great. One argument will be, of course, that these people will simply be driven online, and there is certainly an element to this, but I think it's certainly a positive, because FOBTs can often act as a sort of stepping stone to online gambling, to other forms of gambling, and they are so accessible on the high street. Anyone can walk in, there's no sign up required, and immediately start playing. There is an element of sort of sign up required with every online casino. Some of it's quite quick and easy, but there is still an element of sort of signing up and becoming a member. And also, some people may not consider signing up to an online casino or online bookmakers, but they would wander in to play a FOBT, off the street, on the high street or whatever. So from a gambling perspective, from an addiction perspective, I can't see this being a negative. Of course, there's still FOBTs about. It may not even reduce the total number of players, because of course they'll just go to a different outlet. But it might be the sort of beginning of the end of the FOBTs, and hopefully, will be a step in the right direction, and will eliminate some of the early stages of gambling addictions that we see that these machines may sort of encourage. That's just my input. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. Like I say, my sympathies are with the shop staff who have by and large done absolutely nothing wrong. But hopefully this is sort of the beginning of the end of the sort of the FOBT invasion. Hopefully the beginning of the end of the absolute deluge of bookmakers that have been springing up sort of all across the country, in every high street and every sort of urban area of shops now seems to have at least one bookmaker. So hopefully this is the beginning of the end of the FOBTs. I've said before, and I will say it again, that I don't think gambling is inherently bad. I don't think betting is inherently bad. I don't think casinos are inherently bad, or any of the games themselves are inherently bad. I don't even think roulette is a bad game. If people want to play roulette, that's fine. People can play roulette recreationally. I know people who play in casinos recreationally and don't have a problem. The reason I would celebrate the demise of the FOBTs is purely because they have been proven time and time again to be such a sort of fundamental element in both the sort of the perpetuation of gambling addiction, and also, because of their accessibility, the start of gambling problems for lots of people, particularly young people. So yeah, let me know your thoughts anyway. This is sort of just my take on things. Sorry for the low quality video. Like I say, I'm on the road, but I wanted to sort of get something out there, get your guys' thoughts on it, and yeah, I'll see you again for a proper video soon. Cheers guys.